All right, well, like we said, we're gonna dive into our top 10, but first we're gonna do our honorable mentions. Nick, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So, honorable mention to Skate Story.
Okay.
Played this game. It came out in December.
Yeah.
But yeah, skateboarding game that revolves around you being a demon and you're trying to eat the moon. And this game has an incredible vibe to it, incredible atmosphere. The graphics are great. Played it on Switch too. The controls feel incredible after you learn them. It's just a really, really fun game to play. I mean, it's not my favorite experience of the year, but I do want to, continue to go back to it and continue to play it because it's just a fun skateboarding game.
Did you finish the game?
I did, yeah.
You did finish it. Okay.
All right, what you got?
We're gonna do one by one. Okay.
Actually, yeah, let's do one more.
I've got it kind of broken up to stuff that I didn't finish and I know is really good, and then stuff that I've played and just haven't, or played and just didn't enjoy it as much as my top 10.
Feel free to fire yours off, and I can circle back and fire mine off as well.
Okay. So I've never finished. I've got Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Nice.
I know that game's great. Just huge game. Kind of came out with I think around Avowed, and I ended up clicking with Avowed a little bit more as far as like the gameplay, because Kingdom Come it's obviously like a sim game, and it could get a little frustrating when you were losing and dying and stuff like that. But I respect the game. I want to go back and play it at some point. A huge one, and I know people are gonna hate me for it, and it's probably on your list as well, Nick. But Split Fiction. I tried playing with my wife, and we played quite a bit of it. Just never finished it. In January we're gonna lock in and we're gonna finish this game because I need to finish it. I know it's a really good game. It's scored very well.
Yeah.
So yeah, need to go back to that. Nick, give me some more of yours.
Silent Hill F.
Okay.
Really great game. I didn't click with the combat as much as you did. I think it might be on your list, but the story was incredible and graphically the game's amazing. It plays really great. It's just the combat I didn't click with as much.
Yeah. One of those games that I hope comes to the Switch too, as well as Silent Hill 2 remake as well.
Yep.
Yes, I did. I did really enjoy that combat. And I'm gonna go back and play it again because I know there's additional story elements that open up in different playthroughs, and you can unlock new weapons and stuff like that. So
yeah,
that's probably going to be on my list to go back to after I'm finished with Outlaws and hopefully get back to System Shock. So
yeah,
cool game.
And then two more games I want to shout out. One, Pipistrello and the Curse of Yo-Yo. This is a really excellent retro Zelda, like 2D Zelda inspired game, similar to like Oracle of Ages or Oracle of Seasons. Plays really great. Just a really, really fantastic game that makes awesome use of like yo-yo mechanics. So that's a really great one. And then
did that game come out after the Switch 2 launched?
No, it was before.
It was before. Okay. I was going to say if it came out like right after the Switch, that would have been kind of the perfect timing because there wasn't a ton of play on the Switch 2.
Yeah.
And
that's when I played it. I played it after the Switch 2 came out.
Yeah.
And then actually two more games I want to call out. One, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. I'm not including that on my list just because it's a game from 2015.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I put like 50 hours into this game and absolutely loved it.
Yeah, that's one I'm waiting for the Switch 2 patch.
It needs a Switch 2 patch desperately.
Because I want to go back to it.
And then Ender Magnolia. This is a really, really great Metroidvania game, kind of similar to like a Hollow Knight. Just really, really great combat mechanics in this one. And a great sequel to Ender Lilies, which came out a couple of years ago. But that is also an incredible game. Both these games have really, really great bosses.
Yes.
Sorry, my son's crying in the background, so I apologize. Okay. All right, you got any more honorable mentions?
Yes, I've got a few more here. So I've got Elden Ring, Night Rain, just a game that I never gave much time into. I know the game is great, and the few times that we played runs together, It was a lot of fun. We never got a chance to go in and do co-op after we were kind of like, man, this game should have co-op. And then not too long after co-op came out. So very cool that they listened to the community from Soft and got that in there. I want to go back and play it. I know they just had some DLC that just came out earlier this month. So I need to go back and play it and try it out. Another honorable mention, Cyberpunk 2 on the Switch 2. Finish that game. Got to finish up the DLC for that. But man, am I glad that this game came out on the Switch 2, because I think this is one of the best games of all time. I really do. I think it's fantastic. It's a shame that it launched in such a state that it did back in 2019 when it came out. It was a pretty mediocre, very subpar experience. And even on the Switch 2, like the game runs very well, like a pretty consistent. I think it's 40 on the Switch 2. Very consistent on that. Story is fantastic. Obviously the characters are fantastic. Johnny Silverhand, awesome character. So yeah, I can't wait to get back into that DLC, but I want to give that one a shout out. Star Wars Outlaws, obviously I'm very few hours into that game, but I know this game is going to be great by the end of it. So that's what I'm currently playing. Mario Kart World. I know this game is going to get better over time once they add DLC and more tracks and whatever the case is, but I think, and maybe it was just an impossible ask from Nintendo, but coming from what Mario Kart 8 was, having 10 plus years of the game, getting bigger and bigger with all the DLC tracks, I just didn't feel Mario Kart World did enough to change or have a huge difference from Mario Kart 8. I know there's the jumping mechanics and some of the grinding and stuff like that, but that wasn't enough for me to feel justified in picking this game up. Granted, I got it on sale with the bundle, but I would never recommend this game ever for $80. It's just not worth it. I think it's more of a $50 experience, and to be honest, or 60, whatever.
Yeah, I think so.
Again, I think this game will get better over time. I hope it does. We've talked about it a lot on the podcast, where we feel like they're dropping the ball with some of the advertisement they could use in their game, like they do with Smash. Bring in some of the Metroid characters, bring in Samus with Viola. You know, why wasn't they added Donkey Kong skins and then track whenever Bonanza came out? Really feel like they dropped the ball with that. Maybe they'll start doing that with this game. I don't know. Probably not. But who knows? And then last up, Pokemon ZA. I did finish this game. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was. I think the combat is a lot of fun in this game. Everything else, the exploration, the city, very dull, very boring.
Yeah.
It's not it is not what Pokemon is. Pokemon is about exploring the lands far and wide that we've said in the past. And we're stuck in a city that's the most bland city I think I've ever traversed in a video game. Very, very boring. That being said, I like the story. Probably one of my maybe favorite stories of recent memory from a Pokemon game. I thought it was actually pretty good. So yeah, solid Pokemon game. I think I liked it a lot better than I thought I was gonna like it. And here I am again. Every time I say that I'm not picking up a Pokemon game, I always end up folding. Reel me back in. But it's a good game.
It really is. Game. Yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah. Any more from you, Nick? Are you done?
I mean, yeah, I would also call out Legends EA. UFO 50. I know that game technically came out last year, but I had a ton of fun with that one, and I still need to play the rest of the games. I think I've only played 35 of them. I need to jump into the rest of them, but that was an incredible experience as well.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready. If you are.
Yeah. Xenoblade Chronicles X, again, another, you talked about it already. Bravely Default, Flying Fairy. I do love Bravely Default. I do want to go back and finish it. But it's just a remaster. That I didn't love the art style. I wish they kind of would have done the 2D HD, which I know people are kind of sick of that art style, but maybe they should have done that for this one. I don't know. It's still a fine game. The combat is still a lot of fun. So all right, Nick. Well, let me pull up our list here, and then that way we can kind of just add on as we go, so we can both input stuff in there.
Cool.
All right, you want to kick it off first? Do you want me to kick it off first?
I'll kick it off.
All right,
I'll start us fresh.
let's do it.
All right, number 10, Avowed.
Hell yeah.
I think I'm higher on this game than a lot of other people are, but I really did dig the combat in this game. I had a lot of fun with all the dual wielding stuff, and just I really like the art style. I thought the art style in this game was really good. The story wasn't the best. Yeah, there were some pretty good
No, it
side
was pretty
quests.
forgettable.
Yeah, pretty forgettable story, but I did really love just traversing the lands and finding like all of like the parkour elements to this game were really fun, like climbing up stuff and finding those secret
Probably.
chests. That was kind of the most fun I had with the game was searching for all those.
So we can full on talk about this game because this is my number 10 as well.
Oh my god, perfect.
um, yeah, I was kind of debating if this was gonna be a number 10 or not, or maybe something else, but I wasn't quite sure. But yeah, I think the parkour alone and like just the combat experience, probably my favorite. Like out of all the Elder Scrolls game, this blows those games out of the water in terms of like the combat itself.
For sure.
It's like Call of Duty meets Elder Scrolls. Like it's so fast paced. Plenty of options to like dual wield with the wands and stuff. Like just
Mhm.
so much fun. A lot of those side quests were like really cool. Again, like you said, the story was pretty forgettable. Like,
Side characters were pretty forgettable.
yeah,
Like
I
the
mean, there's
companions.
definitely some moments like in the game where it's like, oh, do you want to blow up this? I don't know, this shrine. It's going to kill a lot of people or not or whatever. So they threw in those moments, and then at the very end, it kind of like came together, very similar to like the end of BioShock 1, where it wasn't even like a cutscene. It was just like a bunch of
Oh yeah.
images that showed, like, and it was very kind of
Bunch of
like
JPEGs that
lackluster.
showed up
Yeah, a
on
bunch of
screen.
JPEGs, very lackluster. So that was kind of obviously this was a little bit more intricate than BioShock, but it kind of gave me those vibes. But outside of that, outside of the story, I loved every bit of this game. Just each biome or area was unique and different. I
Yeah.
don't think there was one that I necessarily disliked. I would say I know we did a podcast about ranking them.
I think the second area I would put at the bottom,
That's
the
the
kind of the
deserty
darker.
area, right?
No, it's the darker area, like the swamp
Oh,
area.
that's right. Yeah, yeah,
I would put that one at the bottom, but all the other ones I thought were really good.
yeah.
Nice. Well, do you wanna do number 9?
Sure. Yeah. Pull this up real quick. All right, number 9. I think this is where our list starts to deviate a little bit here. Doom, the Dark Ages.
Very nice. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I think you should definitely go back and play it at some point. Obviously you don't have Game Pass right now, so maybe not. But yeah, I think this is an excellent Doom game. I think if you liked the other Doom games, Doom 1, 2018 or whatever, and what's the second one called? Doom Eternal.
Sure.
I think this may be. I think I like this one the most. Yeah, obviously, this one's kind of set in the medieval times. It's very funny how they treat the Doom guy. That he is like this god, which I guess he really kind of is. But just like the sound he makes when he runs, like you just feel incredibly powerful when you're playing as him. I wish they kind of made those sound effects for Master Chief in Halo. Just that thumping like sound, but the combat is excellent. It's obviously very like the other two Dooms where you're unlocking new weapons and you're going back to areas and finding secrets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I found myself more often than not trying to get most of the stuff. I didn't necessarily like, if I missed something, I wasn't mad, or I wasn't necessarily going to go back for. But while I'm in the level, I tried to explore the best I could. That being said, I feel like some of the shortcomings of this game are like when you're the giant, when you're in the giant like mech, it doesn't feel super great. It almost feels like like an Xbox 360 game in a way, like back in Gears 2, I think, when you're controlling some sort of giant mech or tank or something in that game where you're just kind of mowing through enemies that are tiny on the screen. It kind of felt very similar to that. Um, and then like the space stuff with the or not space stuff, but like when you're flying the vehicle, that was okay. Most of the time you ended up just shooting a part of a ship and then jumping on the ship with Doom Guy and doing some very familiar stuff and then getting out.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I think this game was very, very good.
Nice. All right, my number 9 is Chronos: The New Dawn.
Hell yeah.
Quite frankly, I was just blown away by this game. The survival horror mechanics in this are so good. It's a difficult game. I think they're adding in like a difficulty modifier for it now to make it a bit easier.
Yeah.
But I just had so much fun with this game on the Switch too. Very atmospheric.
Yeah.
The weapon upgrades are really great. And yeah, I just enjoy it. I mean, the story's kind of confusing and obtuse and doesn't make
It
a
is.
ton of sense, but it is very classic. It has that very classic survival horror feel. It reminds me of like a better version of what was that horror game that came out in 2022? Shoot, what is it called? The one that did not review very well at all. The one from Tim Schafer. Do you remember?
Schafer.
Wait, is it Tim Schafer? The Dead Space guy.
Oh, you're gosh, you're talking about
Callisto Protocol.
Callisto Protocol. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
that was not Tim Schafer. I know you're talking about though. Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, it feels like a better version of that.
Yeah.
Just kind of executed a little bit better. But I really love this game. I love the gunplay. Again, just super atmospheric.
Yeah.
Upgrades are great. And then just kind of like switching back and forth between different realities was also kind of fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game is really good. It really after Silent Hill 2 remake that solidified. I mean, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be a day one for me because I pretty much trust Bloober at this point. Which
Sure.
Speaking of Bloober, they did release the Layers of Fear like legacy remaster or collection. That's got every Layer of Fear game like all remastered specifically for the Switch too. So yeah, I may end up picking that up.
Yeah.
All right. My number 8 is Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment.
I was wondering if this was going to be on your list.
Yeah, I like this game a lot. This is probably my favorite Warriors game probably ever. I know you've played more of the Nintendo ones than I have with the Fire Emblem stuff, so I don't quite know how that compares with this.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think this game is excellent. I love the fact that it's tied in directly to Tears of the Kingdom. It's the sequel, the prequel, letting us know what happened. Although we kind of knew like how the story ended up, but it was cool they implemented new characters and stuff like that into it, and it made it make sense in a way for those characters to be added in, and didn't like mess up the lore or anything like that. So I thought that was really cool. At the end of the day, to me, it's still a Warriors game. It runs fantastically on the Switch too, but it's still a hack and slash. Most of the characters are kind of feel the same at some point. Like it just kind of depends on who's got fire versus ice and electric versus water and some of that stuff. Some of the characters feel a little bit different, but most of the time it kind of feels all the same. And again, you're just kind of going through the levels, hacking and slashing your way through. It's not an overly difficult game. But I think it's a very good game.
Wow. Honestly, I'm surprised it's above Doom and Avowed. But you played a lot more of the post game and additional content than I did.
Yeah, and again, it's a lot of the same kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
I enjoyed that kind of rhythm that it gets you into with some of that stuff. I think I'm good. Like I know there was a second update that came out. I'm probably, unless there's some sort of major DLC that comes out for this game, I think I'm probably done with it for the time being. But yeah, I thought it was a solid game.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, really great game. I think it is one of the best Warriors games.
Yeah.
I do really love the Fire Emblem Warriors, both of those games. But I think this one, like from a gameplay perspective, is one of the best. Yeah. Okay, my number 8 is Shinobi
Hell
Art
yeah.
of Vengeance. I mean, this is I kind of talked through what I liked and disliked about this game earlier. Um, but just to reiterate, like the combat in this game is incredible. The Metroidvania aspect of kind of going back through levels with new abilities.
Yeah.
Uh, the bosses are great. Nothing is too challenging. All of it feels like just the right difficulty, and then just like having so many different combat variations and like all the different like ninja moves. I can't remember what they're called, like ninjutsu moves you can do, like the specials, and then you can like one hit KO enemies after you get them low enough. Like
Yeah.
there's just a
Super
lot of cool
satisfying.
stuff added into this game that feels really great. And I do want to go back and
Yeah.
100% it
I
at
think
some
there's
point.
DLC coming out maybe next month, I believe.
Oh,
I love
nice.
the game
Okay.
so much that I bought like the expansion pack that came with like a really cool like blue skin, like completely blue skin.
Oh,
And
nice.
the skin you get for I think or maybe not 100% of the game, but beating like the secret boss, you get like a really cool skin too. So yeah, yeah,
Okay.
games.
Yeah, I'll have to go back to it and try to 100% it just so I can
Yeah.
get some more stuff. But like this game is right up my alley. It has the fun platforming challenges. It has a really good combat. And then, of course, all the Metroidvania stuff is awesome as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah, this one is definitely a standout, and I'm glad I finished it under the
Yeah.
wire.
Yes. Yeah. I knew you would like it.
Yeah.
All right. My number 7 is Silent Hill F.
Wow.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. I enjoyed this game a lot. Like you said, where the combat, like the hand-to-hand combat for you or the close counters combat didn't hit for you. It absolutely hit for me. I really enjoyed that system, the dodging mechanic. I don't love like when weapons kind of degrade and degradation in games, but
Yeah.
this one I didn't really mind at all because you're kind of constantly picking up new stuff. Whether it's like a heavy axe that takes a little bit longer to charge up, or if it's just a like a lead pipe or like a knife that you can get that's like super fast and powerful. And then you can also like um, repair your weapons and stuff as well. But love the theme of it. Love like the 1960s Japan. I love the story aspect of it. How women were treated back then, and
Mhm.
how they're mentally, how does it impact them? Um, and then, like I said, I want to go back and play through it again to see the different changes because this is one of those games where it's not a very long game. Like it's not nearly as long as Silent Hill 2 remake. So it's definitely constitutes like multiple playthroughs because you're going to get more story.
Yeah.
That's going to open up in the game and maybe make a little bit more sense. But yeah, it wasn't nearly as scary as remake Silent Hill 2 remake.
Yeah.
But that being said, like I loved walking around in like the town area. I didn't love necessarily the other world or whatever it's called. I can't remember the name of it. I
Yeah.
didn't love that aspect of it. It felt a little bit too clean to me in comparison to the other world or whatever in Silent Hill 2, where everything is like broken down and dingy and
Right.
corroded. So I in comparison to that, like I didn't love it as much. But like some of the unique combat you get in that other world is really really cool,
Yeah.
and the self mutilation that starts to happen on later in the game is very jarring. It's not like overly grotesque because it's one of those things where it's kind of happening off the screen, but sometimes that's more effective than actually seeing the stuff as well because you kind of just have to picture in your mind what's actually happening.
Right.
Today that stuff is pretty gross. Yeah, I think it's a great Silent Hill game.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe if I would have played through it another time, it would have changed my overall thoughts. I thought it was great, but
Yeah.
have the same qualms you do.
All right.
All right, my number 7, Blue Prince. this is kind of a how to describe it? Like a 3D roguelike game where you're in a house, you're like kind of like the heir to a house, or you're getting the opportunity to explore a house. And whenever you open a door, you get uh, presented with three options, three room layouts that you get to choose from. So you're kind of like choosing specific room layouts so that you can make your way up to the 50th room all the way on the north side of the house. So you're kind of like, it's almost like building like a snake path to get up to the north side of the house. And sometimes
Yeah.
you will draw rooms that have dead ends, like you draw a closet and you can't go anywhere, but you get items or you get extra steps or something. So there's like give and take there of like, oh, like, do I want to end my path this way so I can get items, or do I want to try to continue as long as I can, build a bunch of hallways and, multi-door rooms, like a bunch of bedrooms and stuff. And then the story as well is very intriguing. Piecing everything together very slowly and over the course of many, many runs is a lot of fun. There's a whole lot more to the story than I've played. I've finished the game, but there's, probably another 50 hours worth of content in there if you do choose to keep exploring, because there's just a lot, and it's all very kind of complicated to figure out.
Yeah. This will be probably one that I pick up when it comes to the Switch 2.
Yeah, this would be the perfect Switch 2 game. I wish it would have come out on the Switch 2. I think I played this on on Xbox phone or whatever it's called, and playing it streaming on my phone, and that lended itself really nicely just because it's kind of a chill game.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. My number 6 is Chronos: The New Dawn.
Same but different.
So very very kind of similar to like Silent Hill in terms of like survival horror, but I think I just like this one just a little bit better, obviously because it's got the guns and the weaponry and stuff. And I think a lot of the weapons are a lot of fun.
Guns and a ball in it,
Yeah, guns and a ball. But yeah, I just pretty much everything that you said earlier about the game. I love the atmosphere of it. Love the survival horror elements. It is very like more so. I would say it's more so survival horror than maybe like some of the newer Resident Evils, where it's like you're pretty limited with like ammo and stuff like that.
It's pretty
the hand-to-hand combat is not the greatest. I wish that was a little bit better, and I wish there was like an actual dodge mechanic that would have been nice in the game to be able to do that.
I think that was intentional though.
Yeah, maybe.
Like kind of old school, no dodge. You really got to set up your shot and stand your ground.
Yeah, and that's the kind of one of the unique things with like the weapons is like you can either charge it to do more damage or just kind of fire as fast as you can. But so it's kind of give and take with that kind of stuff. I think charging is really the way to go because you'll conserve your ammo. But you unlock a lot of really, really cool weapons. I think the story, it takes a while to get going. Like it takes a while for there to actually be like an actual cutscene with characters and stuff like that in it. But once the story gets going, I think it is pretty intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think I would definitely recommend it for anybody that loves survival horror games. I think Bloober knocked it out of the park. Did have some frame rate issues on the Switch too, is where we played it. So it probably runs better on the other consoles, but that's just kind of what you get with Switch 2 for some of this stuff. But yeah, I think it's an excellent game.
For sure. All right, this one might surprise you a little bit, but my number 6 is Metroid Prime 4.
Okay, that doesn't surprise me a lot.
I really did. I love this game. I think
top 10.
Yeah, top 10. Obviously had a really good time with it. I thought all the specific areas were great. I thought the desert to an extent was great. Very cathartic to run through.
Yeah.
And smash all those crystals. I'll always be smashing the crystals.
Yeah, don't wait till the end.
Don't wait till the end. Yeah. I think I'm more excited for Prime 5, especially after hearing the interview. I can't remember who the interview was with, but they were talking about, they were kind of handed this idea from Bandai, who had initially worked on Metroid Prime 4, and Retro took it over back in 2019, and they were kind of handed the framework for it, right? Of like having an open world type game. So they took what they could and like they shaped it into something that made some semblance of sense. And I think that's where the desert area comes from, and that's where Viola, like the motorcycle, comes from, and all that stuff. I'm excited to see if Prime 5 can kind of find a better way to interconnect all the world, or interconnect like all the different levels and make it a bit more
Yeah.
seamless. And I say that because I'm not super excited to replay Prime 4, whereas Prime 1 remastered, or Metroid Dread or Metroid Fusion, or like any of the 2D Metroids, those are exciting to replay
Yeah.
because nothing wastes your time in those games. Whereas in
Yeah.
Prime 4, like there are things that can waste your time, and there's not really room for sequence breaking or doing things out of order, because like with the fire shot, for example, you have to get the fire upgrade and then you have to take it back to Miles
Yeah. Every
to
time.
even activate it. Whereas in every other Metroid game, you get it
And
and
you
you
just
can
get
use
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. That is definitely, there's a lot of backtracking and going to places that, and even like after you do the Volt Forge and you get Viola, even Miles is like, hey, there's these 4 other keys you need. You go anywhere you want, and it's like, no, we actually
You
can't go.
actually can't.
We actually can't. Like you try to go to the fire area, you get blocked out by the lava, so you have to go back to the ice belt, and get the ice charge, whatever. So it's kind of like it tricks you into thinking you can go wherever you want, but you actually can't. Which is why I think a lot of people compare this game to like Ocarina of Time, because looking at the map, you're like, oh, I can go here, and then it's like, no, you actually can't. You don't have Epona, you don't have the hook shot yet, or whatever. So it's like you can't actually go to anywhere. You just have to follow the path that's not necessarily laid out for you. But yeah, I guess looking back now, like after each new weapon variant you get, it is a little bit annoying to have to go back to Miles to get that upgrade to where normally, like you said, you can just upgrade it on the spot.
And I even watched a video of someone sequence breaking, and they were in Volt Forge and they didn't have the grapple yet. And there's that area at the bottom where you have to grapple to get, I think, the ice shot.
Yeah.
Ice shot or the thunder shot or something like that. And they were able to do it without using the grapple, but then they were like soft locked out of the game because the game didn't expect them to have it, so they couldn't bring it back to Miles to activate it. It's like, well, that kind of sucks. Like then it kind of deters you from wanting to replay the game and try to find, these kind of secrets. So
yeah.
all that being said, like it's a great game and it feels really great to play, and it runs great, and it's on my list. Obviously, I love the parts that I love, but that doesn't mean critique it.
I'll talk about it as well, because my number 5 is Prime 4.
Okay, I expected it to be somewhere low top.
Yeah. I mean, I liked everything about this game pretty much. Like, I know a lot of people complain about the overworld and driving through the desert. I liked it. I thought it was, like you said, like a cathartic experience. Every time I saw the green shards, I just ran through them. It wasn't a huge deal. There was enough to do in the overworld with finding like the shipwrecks and stuff like that. That obviously don't really mean much early on until you get some of the more of the upgrades, and then there's some story stuff based on those wrecks to get the mech parts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I never had a problem with it. Even in the moment when I was getting these new items and going back to Miles, it never bothered me. And I guess in looking back at it, it's like, yeah, that was a little bit of obnoxious, but in the moment, it didn't bother me at all. I never really felt like it was wasting my time. That being said, like you mentioned earlier, with Retro kind of forced to work with what they had, and because Nintendo's not going to be like, all this work that they put into, we're going to scrap it. No, use the framework and then kind of build off of that. Do what you do best and make a good Prime game. And once you get to those certain areas, like it is very much Prime. Not as deep as obviously Prime 1, where you're kind of connecting everything together, but I think each individual area is a lot of fun and unique. That being said, Prime 5, I want them to reel it back in, like you said, bring it back to Prime 1, have it just one connected world. I don't need another Viola type of thing, depending on the story, how the story goes, with how that story ends, and we're not going to spoil anything here, but are we going to go back to Vuros or not? Is it just going to be forget about everything else and let's just move on with the Prime universe? Or maybe we go back and then something happens and then we're transported to somewhere else. You know, who
Right.
knows exactly? But that being said, love Prime 4. But I don't need another one of these games. Like I wouldn't want Prime 5 to be kind of this with more stuff.
Yeah.
I'd rather go back to the basics a little bit.
Yeah, and I know it sounds like we're dogging on it, but, it's been anticipated for about 8 years, so even
Yeah,
though it's high on our list, it's disappointing that it's not higher, if that
exactly.
makes sense. Like, I wish this was my favorite game of the year or, at least top 3, but here we go.
That's how I kind of thought. You know, I had some ideas in mind of what my favorite games were, and I'm like, well, Metro Prime 4 is coming out real soon, and maybe that gets a lot higher on my list. And it's still number 5. It cracked the top 5 for me personally, but um, yeah, it should have been higher. Like and again with the reviews and some of those reviews, I don't think were very fair. I think there's a lot of hatred for Nintendo and Switch 2 this year, and maybe some of
Mhm.
these reviewers got caught up in that as well. I don't think Miles is necessarily a terrible character. He's not annoying. Like he'll
No.
briefly come up in the overworld and say, "Hey, you unlocked something. You could maybe go back to another area you've previously." It's just kind of a reminder to obviously people that play Metroid know, but it didn't bother me in one bit at all. It was overblown to the 100th degree. It was just, yeah, I don't get it. I don't know why everybody rallied around that, hating on that character for whatever reason, but
Yeah, it was easy.
yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, what is your number 5?
And number 5 is Fantasy Life I,
Nice.
The
Okay.
Girl Who Steals Time.
It's on sale right
This
now. I thought about picking it up.
I mean, you should well, I don't know if you'd like it, but it's one of those games. Nothing about it is, like, the best I've ever played. Like, there's not one mechanic where I'm like, "Oh, this is
Yeah.
amazing," but everything about it is consistently great. Because it's kind of in the name, but, like, you can do whatever you want. Like, you can be a woodcutter, you can be a swordsman, you can be an archer, you can be a fisherman. Like, you can do all these things, and you can seamlessly transition between each of them, and you can each life essentially has its own like skill tree and level to it, and like they all have their own challenges. So like you can kind of play this game exactly how you want to. If you want to be a carpenter, you can do that, and you'd spend your days just like making new
Yeah.
armor or something like that, making new weapons, whatever. Or you can do a bunch of combat challenges, and there's like combat arenas, and there's obviously the whole story. There's a lot of combat as well, but it's just one of those like really kind of simple games that you can get sucked into very easily, and that's exactly what happened with me, where, you know, the Switch 2 had just come out. I think I'd put about 20 hours into it on the Switch 1 and then put another 30 into it on the Switch 2, just
Purchase
because
that
I was
little $2
enjoying
upgrade.
yeah, that weird, like, yeah, $2 upgrade, but I was just enjoying my time with it so much. I'd already finished the story, but I was, trying to make the best weapons and trying to, master all of the classes or master the lives, and then there's this whole town building aspect as well, kind of
Yeah.
similar to Animal Crossing, where you can build your own town and uh, like have your kind of companions live in that town as well. And then there's
Yeah.
a like a whole roguelike mode that is fun in its own right. So there's really just a lot to this game. There's something for everyone, and then um, there's like this whole open world area that's completely separate from the main story that you can do in multiplayer if you want, or you can do it by yourself. But like that has its own thing, and like and there's just there's an incredible amount of content in this game. It's kind of
Yeah.
unbelievable how much there is. Um, Talking about it makes me want to go play it. It's a
That's what
good
I'm
sign.
saying.
But and I think there's a free DLC out right now. That's like another roguelike mode in the open world.
Yeah, that's what I
So
heard.
check that out. But yeah. All right.
Cool.
What is your number 4?
My number 4 is Hollow Knight Silksong.
All right. Higher than I thought. I was
Oh
afraid it
yeah?
wasn't going to make the list.
No, I had to finish it. If I didn't finish it, I don't know where it would have been on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously a much highly anticipated game for both of us. I jumped into Hollow Knight I think a couple of years after it came out. Played it on the Switch and just adored it. I absolutely loved the first one. Obviously, very excited for the sequel, and I really did enjoy this game. But I spent so much time being more frustrated than anything, where it's really started to take away from the experience. Exploring all that stuff, super fun. It's exactly what you expect from a Hollow Knight experience.
Yeah.
Some of those bosses, specifically that gauntlet encounter,
That's bullshit.
was just too much in my opinion, and I despise the shard system they have in the game, where you, in order to use like your items, you have to have these shards, and for the most part it's fine. Though once you get to a boss and you fight the boss 10 times, you're out of shards, and you need, I mean, unless you're just godly at this game, like you're gonna need to use your items, because they're really helpful. And I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with farming, but
it's kind of a waste of time.
at some point, like once I had done it a bunch, I'm like, man, like, is this worth doing? I don't know. Am I having a fun time with this game? And the answer was no for a lot of this game. So
Here it
yeah,
is, number 4.
pretty. Yeah. And other than that, everything about this game is incredible. The music, the art style, the combat. I love how Hornet is so much faster than the original Hollow Knight or whatever. The combat's quicker. The combat's really good. It's very satisfying once you defeat a boss or you get through an area.
Oh, for sure.
And it's one of those games where it's like, again, like I'll fight a boss for an hour or two, put it down, and maybe that's what I gotta do. And then you come back the next day and you beat it in your first try or second try. But still, I spent, God, just so much time on that, specifically that gauntlet area. And then there was also Rovio, which was like the theater, also a very hard boss fight. So just a combination of being stuck on. That's the worst part, I think, in games like this, Elden Ring, Dark Souls, where for the most part, like you fight a boss, you die a bunch. Like, oh well, clearly I'm not ready. Let me go into a different path, and then you go on another path, and you play for a couple hours down that path, find another boss, and then maybe beat it.
Level up,
and you level up. You come back. And then fight this, and then come back and fight the boss, and you beat it, and you're like, oh yeah, I just need to level up. This one maybe not. There's not much leveling up in this game at all. You just kind of increase your needle and get that stronger. So when you run into a boss that's really challenging and you just can't break through, it doesn't. Yeah, you just kind of you can't just farm for souls, like you can in other games. I mean, you can. Because at the end of the day, like, I don't know, items are going to definitely help, but yeah, you just gotta beat it, get through it. So and eventually, like I said, I just got to a point where I was just, both paths that I could take were 2 really hard encounters, and it was just very frustrating. But like I said, other than that, game's great, deserves the number 4 slot. But
that makes sense. I agree with your sentiment. I struggled with that gauntlet, and then separately struggled with a lot of other bosses, especially those in the like the final act 3. So I get it. I see where you're coming from.
But all the unlocks, like the double jump was awesome. Like that whole area was very cool. Like it was a hard area, hard platforming area. But that was awesome. And just again, the Metroidvania elements of the game, where there's certain paths that you jump up, and in the map there's nothing there, and there's like maybe some, I don't know, some foliage or something dangling down, and you're like, is that a path? And you jump up, and then it's like, oh my god, like there's a whole nother area that you can go to. So all that stuff is incredible. The design of the map is amazing. I think they did a better job of fast traveling in this game. Just being able to get around the map and not having to backtrack a ton to get to a fast travel point. I think they did a lot better job with that. So yeah, overall, I think it's a better game than maybe Hollow Knight is. I maybe have to go back and play Hollow Knight just to compare, but I think in terms of like gameplay, it's more fun. But yeah, just some frustrating things. But I'm glad to be done with it. I'm glad to finish the story. So whenever the DLC comes out, I can feel good about diving into that. But Yeah, great game.
Nice.
All right, Nick, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is Hades 2.
Nice.
In my opinion, this is the perfect like action roguelike game.
Yeah.
But I think this is either like a 9.5 or a 10 out of 10 game. If you like roguelike games, if you like action games in general, I wholeheartedly recommend this game. I mean,
Yeah.
It does a lot different from Hades 1 in the fact that you can kind of take 2 different routes. You can either go down into the depths or you can go up top. So it kind of gives you variation for each run. So you could kind of switch it up. Whereas in Hades 1, you're always going the same place each time.
Yeah.
But in Hades 2, you can kind of go in those 2 different directions. You're constantly upgrading either your weapons, your character, your skills. Each run matters in its own way. And like each run has consequence, whether it's, a story consequence or it's just a consequence of you getting better or kind of evolving your character. It's just so fun. I think everything about the gameplay in this game is kind of perfect. I just love the combat in this game way more than Hades 1. The story itself, I think it ends on a really weird note. I know they changed the ending of the story after the game came out and kind of like retcon some stuff. I have not gone back to watch.
Because it was in early access, right?
Well, they actually went back after it like launched in 1.0.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And changed the
I didn't know
ending of the
that.
story because people didn't like it.
Very Mass Effect 3 of them.
Very what? Yeah. Kind of like that. And I haven't gone back and watched like what they did.
Interesting.
But like aside from that story stuff, like I think all of the bosses are absolutely incredible. I know you've put about 10 hours into this game, so you've played through some of the bosses.
Yeah, I should have put it on my honorable mentions list. But
yeah. I mean, it's definitely challenging getting that first, like completing that first run is really hard, but once you do, it gets a lot easier. And it's good that it does because the game makes you do it multiple times to finally see the ending. This is a game I do want to keep going back to just to play through random runs. But it's honestly fantastic.
This may be something I go back to. Excuse me, but I think this game kind of solidified my not liking roguelike games. I've never truly found one that I thoroughly have enjoyed, to an extent. I know like Slay the Spire is one of those, and I actually did buy that game. I think it was on sale for like $4. So I've got it in my backlog, so I'll probably boot it up at some point. So maybe that I do like myself a card game. Maybe I'll boot that up, and that will be the game that makes me fall in love with that specific roguelike. But I've tried a lot of Hades 2. What's Binding of Isaac? I tried that. What's the other big one on Switch that had like the Castlevania DLC, or not Castlevania?
Dead Cells.
Dead Cells was also like a really, really good roguelike that I put probably 10 plus hours into. But something about them, just I get to that point where I'm like, man, like I feel like I'm wasting my time. And that's inevitably where I got to with Hades 2. Like I did a ton of runs. I even got to like Hades, I think once or twice, and died on like its second phase. I'm just like, maybe maybe I'll throw it on like no die mode and just experience the story for what it is. But also like I don't necessarily want to do that either. So maybe I'll go back to it one day. I don't know. But yeah, it should have been on my honorable mentions list. I threw it on here now, but yeah.
Nice.
I can appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah. All right. What is your number 3?
My number 3 is Shinobi.
Okay. I think I know your number 2 and number 1 now.
All right. Yeah, pretty much everything you said earlier about Shinobi, I feel the exact same way. This is probably my favorite 2D combat that I've ever experienced. That could change, like maybe once I go back and play the Prince of Persia DLC and get familiar with that game again. But I loved just every aspect of the combat. I loved all the parkour challenges. I loved all the different challenges that they have in the game, the boss encounters, the secret bosses that you can do. I like the fact that the game is level based, but also, a Metroidvania game as well, where you go
Yeah.
back and, and unlock some new stuff. Yeah, I think it took me about 15 hours or so to 100% the game. So it's not a very long game, but it's challenging enough. Like there was definitely a few times where I got stuck on a couple of bosses, especially like towards the end, but it never felt unfair,
Right.
or if it never felt like I couldn't do it. And so yeah, I think it's just an incredible 2D experience. If you like your Hollow Knights, if you like your Prince of Persias, I think it's right up there with some of the best of those.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
obviously, I didn't have a ton of trouble with the game with the combat and the difficulty. So I think that's probably why I put it above Hollow Knight. I just had a better time with it overall.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. All right, Nick, what is your number 3?
All right, my number 3 is Hollow Knight. Silksong.
I thought this might have been maybe one place higher, but okay. So I think we might have I think our top 2 might be the same. We'll see.
Yeah, and I think I do. I do share your same sentiment, and I've almost 100% of this game. I've beaten all of the bosses, so I've experienced the entire echelon of what these bosses offer. And I will say, like, the bosses in the last act are more frustrating than fun.
Yes.
And I think that kind of watered down the experience for me a little bit. And I know, like, that's, I didn't have to do that, right? I didn't have to fight those bosses, but I wanted to see the very end and, wanted to do all the things. And they were just so hard for the sake of being hard, I feel like. And they never give you a break. But I do want to speak positively to this game because it's my number 3. Please. It is absolutely incredible. The exploration in this game is borderline perfect. The unlocks all the different combat mechanics that you get, like all the different crests that you get, different combat styles. Awesome.
Yeah.
Just kind of going back through areas in that Metroidvania style, like going back through areas with your new upgrades and discovering entire secret areas that rival, like in Bloodborne when you find the area with like the alien characters. That's just like completely optional area. Like some areas in Hollow Knight rival that experience of finding this entire space, and you're like, man, is this even required to beat the game? And no, it's not. Like, you just it's an optional area, and that's awesome. So I can totally
probably
see.
Got like some of the best, if not the best, like upgrades in a video game, like in comparison to like Metroid and stuff.
Definitely.
Like Metroid, even like Metroid Dread, like are there any new upgrades or weapons in this game or abilities? Like, I don't
in Dread,
think
not really.
so.
I mean, there's the cluster bombs, but
yeah,
retreads, old upgrades.
Yeah. This one's it's like right up there with like Metroid Dread and as like one of, if not the best Metroidvania experience you're gonna get. It is.
Yeah.
It is incredible.
Well, I think we know our number 2. But I guess we'll say it out loud for the people.
Donkey Kong
Bonanza. That's funny. Dude, this game was... I think what put this above Hollow Knight Silksong for me is just that Donkey Kong is straight up fun throughout the entire experience.
Incredible.
Like, it's just so cathartic to play. It's so fun. I think I 100% of this game did absolutely everything there was to offer and had a blast doing it. There's something about a collectathon like this that just hits all of the right notes. And, each layer is doing something different, offering a different experience. There are some layers that aren't as good as others.
Like kind of the middle of the game, like it's kind of forgettable. It kind of blends all together.
Right. But then
a little bit, but then it
picks up at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you speak on it as well.
No, I mean, I agree. Like it's one of the best 3D platformers out there. It's incredibly unique with the way you can just destroy like literally, not literally, almost everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Obviously, there's some limitations, but yeah, I mean, you could sequence break in this game, and it's just like, you could do it if you want, or you could follow the paths or not. Who cares? They don't really like. It doesn't matter. Yeah, like it takes a little bit of time to get used to the controls with like up being, Y or X being up, Y being like horizontal, and then B
BB, yeah.
being like the ground pound. But once you get that down, and it doesn't take very long, I don't think. Like it's so much fun, like traversing these environments.
Yeah.
Um, I, I I still probably prefer Odyssey, maybe.
I think
Overall
so.
as a 3D platformer, but boy is DK very close. I mean, it's same team, right? It's part of the same team, so obviously makes sense that this game is going to be incredible. But
Mhm.
um, the fact that this game came out, it's Donkey Kong, which I don't have a big history with Donkey Kong. I've barely played any of this games. And obviously, this one's so different in comparison to the other ones, but the fact that like I wasn't a huge fan of DK, and now I'm like, man, I need some more DK.
Yeah.
So the only negative I can say really is other than like the middle kind of area levels not being too rememberable is the DLC that they put out for this was
That did
just
kind of sour
like
it.
it definitely did. Like that DK's Island should have absolutely been like a reward for beating the game to go hang out and maybe do some random quest or whatever. The fact that this was $20 to get that, and then have like the roguelike mode, kind of a
Kind of a dud.
yeah, kind of shameful on Nintendo, and also like all their other $20 upgradable experiences are all also not that great. So it's like, man, another one that's like kind of subpar. What are we doing? But yeah, going back to DK, love the game. Love the way that game ended. I thought that game, the ending was excellent. The twist
Yeah.
it had was awesome. Man, yeah, what a damn fine
Seriously
good
awesome
game.
experience. All right. Well, number one,
It was inevitable, Nick.
it was inevitable. Tomorrow actually came today.
Expedition 33, of course. Yeah, gosh.
I mean, I guess what is there to say about this game that already hasn't been said? But
I mean, I love this game so much that I picked it up for the PS5
oh
and
yeah,
got the mirror edition. Yeah, this was one of the years maybe similar to like Tears of the Kingdom year, and maybe not because I loved Armored Core 6, but when I say Expedition 33, it wasn't even close to DK Bonanza in terms of like what I loved more. Yeah, it wasn't even fucking close. Like, oh my god, like as soon as I beat that game, I was like, man, I don't think there's gonna be another experience this year that's gonna come close. Like I was
that
like,
was a
maybe,
generational game.
yeah, like I was like, maybe Metro Prime 4, like that's what I thought maybe could come close to beating it. And obviously DK Bonanza came out, and that game is incredible, but we didn't know at the time.
Yeah.
And Expedition 33 like kind of came out of nowhere as well. Like it got announced, I think the Game Awards last year, or maybe the Summer
Yeah, I
Games
think
Fest or
Game
Xbox's
Awards.
event. Yeah, man, this game is, yeah, like you said, a generational game. Combat is the best role-playing JRPG combat I've ever experienced. It's got the time elements into the dodging and parrying and jump parrying, and graphically it's incredibly good looking. Like
Mhm.
it's like the whole time you're like, man, why does this like look like it's a painted, like it looks like a painting, and then you're like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. And the story is
It's my favorite story in a
it's
long
one of the
time.
yeah, I don't know if it's the best story ever in video games, but damn, is it close? And it might be, it just might be. It is, God, it is sensational.
You you know it's a good story when me and my wife are talking about it afterwards and debating what what the right choice is, right? Or like
Yeah,
what's the moral thing to do. Like
yeah, because there's really no right choice,
no,
right?
there's
It's
not.
oh man,
And
and just the
then
way like oh God,
and the ending of Act 1, like that kind of twist
yeah,
and the revelations there and like the revelation at the end of Act 2 and then obviously the ending with Act 3 like every single act in this game had a pivotal story moment that like made everything worth it.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you have incredible gameplay, you have great exploration, you have really fun levels or like worlds or levels to roam through.
Yeah.
And then the characters themselves are awesome as well. Like
All of them.
SDA is such a fun character.
SK is like one of the best new side characters ever to come along in video games.
Yeah,
So awesome.
like everything was done so to perfection with this game, and it was
Yeah.
done by such a small team, which is even more impressive.
Yeah. I mean, just that scene alone with like Verso sitting there at the pier after Act 2, he's reading that letter, and then everything's happening around him. It's just like, oh
Yeah.
my god, like just mind shattering. Like, oh man.
Yeah,
And then at the
there's
end, where like Lune's looking at Verso,
oh,
I'm
yeah,
trying to avoid spoilers to a degree, but like
with
when
that
she
look.
just sits down and she's just like, yeah, oh my god, man, the voice acting is incredible. I mean, there's a reason why like half the cast got nominated for voice actor of the year.
Right.
And obviously
Well,
Jennifer English took it with Mael, but yeah, and it's one of those games too where it's like I went back and I played some of the DLC and was getting familiarized with the combat again. I was like, man, like this combat was insane. Like it's so
hard.
so
The
so good.
customization, like the
Yeah.
freedom in how you wanted to play was
Yeah.
I don't know, kind of unparalleled.
Yeah, I mean, the Picto system was it's very confusing if you're just looking at it, but once you figure it out and you kind of can like do the synergies with each character and the Pictos and stuff like that, like it's oh my gosh, there's so many different variations that you can do.
It's fun to make a broken build with it.
Yeah,
A glass cannon or making, Verso combust at the beginning of a turn and then like, oh god, just so good.
It's incredible. Like
Yeah.
I've never been taken aback by a video game. It's been a long time where I'm just something moments happened in the game. I'm just like, wow.
Right.
And then like the ending where I'm like, I don't feel good about what I chose. So I immediately rebooted the save and did the other way. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really feel good about this one either. Obviously, I think in the grand scheme of the story, like this is probably the better ending, but also like I don't like it, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm very excited for the movie that they're gonna make as well. Because
Right. I think that's gonna crush it too.
yeah, I feel like that's because it's crazy because like they were talking about doing the movie before the game even came out. They already like, kind of greenlit it. I'm like, man, like is this
kind
game
of talking
about to be
about
like, yeah, is this game gonna like, is this peak or is this trash? Like, what are we doing here? I think it's a shame that like I think it got stripped of like one of its awards from
like the indie awards or something.
because they use like AI in their game or something.
They use it conceptually, and I think they removed it once they actually made the game.
Which is bullshit. Like I think developers have been using AI for like since games were a thing, like
or at least
in some iteration.
Yeah, at least since generative AI has been available, developers have been using it.
Yeah,
just not exactly.
Because I think like
saying it.
What's Baldur's Gate 3 developer?
Oh, Larian. They're under fire because
they're talking about using generative AI with Divinity, and it's like, yeah, like we probably knew that you were doing. Like, at this point, I just don't think developers just say it. Say that they're don't talk about it. Just if you're going to do it, use it, and then make sure that you're also getting credit to like the actual artist. Like use that like you said, they're using they're doing like conceptual designs and then kind of using that, and then they'll have their artists go in there and
actually do the work.
I just think don't say that you're doing that because 99% of the gamers, I don't think they can like conceptualize why it's important to use stuff like that or not. Developers don't use it and it's just fine. But I think it's fine to use it as long as you're using it the right way.
I think if it's used as a tool.
Yeah, I just don't think gamers like are.
They can't compartmentalize like that.
Yeah, I don't know if they're like mature enough to like understand how it could be used. Same thing with like, I mean, we talked about it before, but like the Wolverine, like when that got leaked, and we were looking at very early builds of Wolverine, like that hadn't been, there wasn't hardly any sort of um textures or anything, and it was just kind of the basics of it, and people were like, "This game looks like shit." It was like, "Yeah, no, duh, the game looks
Weren't
like
supposed
shit.
to see it.
It's in development. Like, come on." So I just don't think they can comprehend some of the stuff of how game development like actually works. And I'm not a developer. I don't know everything behind the scenes, but I feel
Yeah.
like I have got a decent enough grasp on how that stuff works, and where it's like, okay, yes, does it look a little bit rough right now? Of course it does. It's 2 years away from being ready to go, or for it to go gold and get on the market. So you kind of have to use your brain and be like, okay, let's give it time and give anyways. But
Yeah.
so I think people like to um I don't know, blow again, going back to Metroid, like blow stuff out of proportion when it's not really that
Well,
big of a deal when it's
that's been the
been
theme this year,
used
but
for exactly.
it
Yeah,
is what
I
it
think
is.
so. I think so.
All right.
All
Should
right.
we
Well,
recap?
congratulations. Yeah, let's recap. Nick, you wanna go through yours?
Yeah. So number 10, Avowed. Number 9, Chronos: The New Dawn. Number 8, Shinobi: Art of Vengeance. Number 7, Blueprints. Number 6, Metroid Prime 4. Number 5, Fantasy Life I. Number 4, Hades 2. Number 3, Hollow Knight: Silksong. Number 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza. And number 1, the winner, Expedition 33.
And mine is number 10, Avowed. Number 9, Doom: Dark Ages. Number 8, Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment. Number 7, Silent Hill F. Number 6, Chronos: The New Dawn. 5, Metro Prime 4. 4, Hollow Knight: Silksong. 3, Shinobi: Art of Vengeance. 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza. And the winner is Expedition 33.
Hell yeah. Congratulations to Expedition 33, winning another game of the year.
Another sweep.
Another sweep.
Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'll let YouTube algorithm pick one of my videos below for you guys to watch. Give it a click, and I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.